And in 5. Okay. Okay.
We
So
here. We here. We here.
Yes. Okay. So, who are you over here? Who are you over here?
Who? What are you talking about?
Who are you? Explain
Who am
yourself to the
I?
people. Who is you?
Oh, hi everyone. I'm Lady Dane Figueroa Aditi, and I am with.
J Mace the Third.
And we are the
I don't know which direction you were on your screen, but so
right. And
yeah.
this, of course, is the Black Transparent Book Digital Release Party. We're going to get started in about 5 minutes.
Yeah. So we're gonna make sure that we get as many of our lovely folks from all the interwebs to join us today. And yes, so whether you're joining us on Facebook, whether you're joining us on YouTube, via the Eventbrite, however you are joining us, you will be able to engage with us directly. And so what I'm saying by that is when you see these lovely, so all the lovely Facebook comments and YouTube comments that y'all are leaving, we can see that directly. So those of y'all that came early, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for the blessings and making sure that we was hyped up, checking out y'all's comments.
Hey, early.
Yes, hey, early people. Yes. And so, so as Dane said, we're going to start in another few minutes just to give people time to kind of log on. If there's any blessings you have for all the lovely folks that are going to join us tonight, we're not going to have every single one of our contributors with us today, but we're going to have a good chunk of people that are really excited and have space to kind of be with you all tonight and be with us tonight to share in the magic of this thing that we've created together, which is the Black Trans Prayer Book. And just we're so, Dane, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pump. I'm feeling pump. I'm feeling pump. I'm feeling pump. And then I have my Trans People Are Divine shirt on.
Yes. Thank you for that. Yeah. And I'm just sitting here. I got my little book out here. So my Black Trans Prayer Book out here. For those of you, as we're kind of waiting to start and get this show on the road, I'm going to put up here. So just in case you were like, where do I get a copy of this book? You can go to theblacktransprayerbook.org and you can pick up a copy there. And we suggest you buy it there because while it is available at other places, it is certainly the cheapest place to get it and most accessible. I'm not going to say cheap, the most accessible place to get it financially there. Yeah. And if you have questions, you can always hit us up on the contact form on that website. We share that email and that information there. So you can ask a question to either one of us or to both of us collectively through that platform.
Yes, God.
Yes.
All right, y'all. We gonna start at like 7:05. So yeah, I'm gonna put my mic on mute right now.
Listen, or 4:05 if you're not about that East Coast supremacy. Okay.
There's some right.
East Coast time. Okay. Some of us exist on other coasts. Okay. So I'd be on the best coast. I think that's what they call that. Inshallah. So yeah, that sound was a lot. So we'll get started in just a couple of minutes. So hang tight. If you have a question for anybody, for any of us, you can feel free to pop a question in here. Thank you for saying, thank y'all for the congratulations. We're so excited. We love you too, Angie and Delphine, everybody. Yes, and Venus. Yes, everybody. Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, and so Dane, it's almost about that time right now.
Oh my goodness, it is almost 7:05.
It's almost that time, yes.
Or 4:05.
4:05 for the West Coast people. Thank you so much.
4:05.
Yeah, and so because we're going to get into our first poet of the evening, which is going to be, of course, my lovely co-host and co-editor and sister and goddess friend, okay, Lady Dane Figueroa Aditi. Yeah, I want us to talk a little bit about what's in this book. So what is in this book that why should people be checking this out?
Well, what's inside of the book is a litany of things, to coin a phrase. There are prayers, there is theological writings, there are exercises that you can do to help center, to heal. There are spells, there are poems, there is art. We have amazing artists, visual artists who are part of this work. Yeah, I mean, that's the short of the long, right? There is magic in this tome.
Yes.
So go on, get you one, baby.
Listen, and just to and so even aside from all the brilliance that Dane just named as far as what kind of content you can find inside of the book, that again, this is the first book of its kind that we know of in this present moment in history that centers the theological narrative, the spiritual needs, and the healing needs of Black trans folks, right? And so this is a book that we believe transcends all different, we call it a beyond faith and interfaith text, right? So that we understand that Black trans folks, by existing, that we have created a name for ourselves, a world for ourselves, and identities for ourselves that other people could not give us, that we created and manifested on our own. And so, yeah, so we're excited to share in this history and recentering the history of Black trans people, as well as the current realities of the gifts that we give ourselves and the world as Black trans people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're excited
Absolutely.
for the journey. Yeah.
So it's 7:06 or 4:06.
So what I'm gonna do, Dane Figueroa Didi, since you're our first, I'm gonna back up and I'm gonna hand it over to you. So I'll see you.
Should we tell everyone? Should we tell everyone? So what's going to happen is that each person, right? Like someone's going to come up, they're going to speak, they're going to perform. Everyone's got about 5 to 7 minutes. And then that person's going to go ahead and go backstage virtually, right, digitally. And then the next person will come up and they'll introduce themselves and they'll do what they want to do, right? They'll bring their offering into the space. They'll bless us. So, yeah, that's how it's going to flow tonight. And I'm going to kick us off, as they say.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you in a second.
So, hey, everybody, I'm Lady Dane Figueroa Aditi. My pronouns are she, her, hers. Yes, God. You know, I'm here. You know me. I'm one of the co-editors. I think we already said that. And I am going to read a piece of mine from the Black Trans Prayer Book. And this is A New Creation Story. A temple hymn to the creation of the universe. In the beginning, there was God. There was Goddess. There was the Great Spirit. There was Allah, the universe, the all, the us. There before, there were first days. Before there were first nights. There was the every knowing of being. When Guronome dances, the serpent Orion is born. God created the world that she gave 1,000 begotten sons. Yemaya is the mother of all. The goddess stopped, and so it was. The world is being born. The world is being born. The world is being born. And then there was longing, a longing to experience what will be, a longing of knowing what was already known. And from that longing came the first songs of creation. And the portal between thought and possibility opened, and the loud symphonic chorus of being arose into the thing. And it is said, God said, this is good. Good as in right. Good as in more than nice. Good as in perfect. God is good. God good. Good, good, good. When Grandmother Spider embraces the sun, God created peace. One day, heaven and earth can know each other. Yemaya is the mother of all, the goddess thought, and so it was. World is being born. The world is being born. The world is being born. And as solar systems sang their hymns on countless worlds, the water stirred. On one world, a planet azure, like the first waters, dark like the first waters, gender full like the first waters, God danced. Her body reverent, his body reflective, their body the holiness of reverence. The waters in their womb staring, they gave birth. They were nature, and nature became their doula. Fate releases stories from their loom, woven in hope, spun in promise. Like grandmother's webs, they mirror stars, the universe sings. The first and last breath has a name. Heaven and earth lay together. Yemaya is the mother of all, the God thought, and so it was. World is being born, the world is being born, the world is being born. Made from starlight, made from sun, made from moonbeams, made from 21 elements. The universe clothes your wonder in flesh, adorns your magic in lifetimes, divine hands crafting creation with thoughts. The underworld has its place. The heavens have their place. The ephemeral has its place. The eternal has its place. The wings of angels have their place. The tears of God have their place. The laughter of being has its place. The green, the water, the flame, the wind have their place. The many, the one have their place. Gender is a construct. Science evolves each day. The eternal knows her name. Yemaya is the mother of all. The God thought, and so it was. World is being born. The world is being born. The world is being born. Pleasure adorns creation. Defiant, deep, splendidly dynamic. Pleasure has their place. Time has her place, gathering the sacred robes of fate. Her shoulders have upon them written imagination. She has God's ear. The goddess has God's ear. They write upon the parchment of time. They write countless versions of seconds. From the garden they spring. From the heavens they are given flesh. Star people have you returned again? Star people, are you flesh once more? Star people, do you hold the mirror to the refrain? World is being born. The world is being born. The world is being born. On the tablet of the story, the pen of God is writing. The thoughts of God tell a story. The word of God crafts a tale. Thought creates the world. World creates the word. Word creates the world. Life, death, and rebirth are a cycle. That which cannot die will not die. That which is eternal always is. Yemaya is the mother of all. Grandmother Spider brings the sun. Newt and Gib hold the in-between in their embrace. The world is being born. The world is born. We have labored. The world is born. We have given birth. The world is born. We have willed it. The world is born. Divinity has made it so. Thank you.
Yes, Dane Aditi, Dane Aditi, Dane Aditi. Yes. Okay, so please clap it up for Dane Aditi in the comments. Let her know that she put some blessings onto your heart and your spirit. Okay, so please make sure that you put a blessing in there for Dane Aditi. Okay, so we're gonna offer up our next artist of the night. So if you are ready for our next artist, if you are ready for our next artist, if you are ready for our next artist, please let us know in the comments so that we can make sure we give them a beautiful, wonderful welcome. So we'll be leaving. We's ready. We's ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. They ain't ready. Hopefully y'all ready out there. So we will be offering up our next artist and we'll see y'all in a second.
Hey, my name is Audria LB. I am a filmmaker and poet. My pronouns are they and she. And I'm going to be reading a couple pieces tonight, 4 to be exact. The one that I'm reading last, the 4th one, does have like a suicide mention. So just a trigger warning for that, giving you a heads up, and I'll also remind you when I get to that poem. Cool. So this one is called A Cleansing Ritual After an Experience of Racist, Sexist, Homophobic, or Transphobic Speech. Apply a fragrance oil to the wrists. Hold your wrists up to your nose and inhale. Breathe deeply in and hold the breath for a beat and exhale fully. Allow the scent to fill your lungs. Let the violent speech dislodge from where it has taken unwelcome residence in your mind and leave your body on the wind of your breath. Then recite the words, "Your ignorance has no power over me." And once more, breathe deeply in, hold the breath for a beat, and exhale fully. Move on in your freedom. Engage your mind with other matters worth your time. Continue to inhale the scent when the violent words whisper in your mind, and expel all traces upon exhalation. If it will not leave you still, call upon the counsel of someone you can trust, not only to carry this unsightly burden, but also to pour it onto the earth like libation. This is someone who will treat you with the tough loving or loving tenderness you need right now. Tell them of the violent speech you witnessed and be free from this moment forward. Cool. So that's the first one. This next one is called March 19th, 2019. I am too boundless. My love is too rich. You told me yourself that I deserve better. I will miss you without telling you. I will wait to hear from you with patience, for this is a test of will. You cross my mind every time I catch sight of my ceiling fan. The songs you love have taken residence in the hollow spaces in my mind. Do you cry for me the way that I cry for you? Will we meet again? Or won't we? How could we ever? When will the ghost of you leave my side? I dream at night of every scenario we will never live. I write my hopes for you, for us, for me. My journal knows everything you never will. I wait for you, for us, for me. I wait for everything that will never happen. And here is the third one. When burdened by the spirit of anxiety, grasp an object that was given to you with love. Hold it to remind yourself of your gifts. And as you turn it in your hands, take the restlessness bouncing around in your body and choose to fidget with intention. Feel the sides and edges and curves and bumps. Commit the geography of this object to your memory, and with each detail, open yourself to the infinite love contained within it. If the heat rising within you will not dissipate, then, as you are able, remove yourself from the place you are in, for the air is filled with the energy of stagnancy. Go outside. Go to a different room. Oblige your body's physical needs. Pace, walk, dance. Make yourself as comfortable as is plausible. Breathe the different air. Hold breath and release fully. And observe the environment around you. Note the qualities of what surrounds you. See if they have any lessons to offer. Learn what you can. And when your leg quits from bouncing, when your chest loosens, when your jaw unlocks, and when you have regained your composure, return to the space from whence you came, bringing new air, new knowledge, and new peace. This last one is a piece that I actually turned into a video poem, and that's available on my YouTube channel, which I don't know if I can drop anything in the comments or anything, but Audria LB on YouTube. This is the one that has the suicide mention, so if you need to mute, leave the room, do whatever, feel free to go ahead now. I am from red lipstick and Blistex, suicide attempts and panic attacks, Bibles and Nintendo 64. I am glass blown from rose quartz sand. I am the R&B voice pouring through my mother's car stereo. I am nobody's fool but yours. I bring you daylight, glinting off my glossy pink lips. I bring you cannabis and tobacco rolled meticulously in brown leaf. I give you prisms to bend love light in your own direction. I tell you that I am not divine. I tell you that I am but a drop in an ocean of human wastefulness, that I am potential squandered, that I am green rays of light cast into outer space, that I am not the woman you know. I ask myself who I am, and I do not reply. I leave the bitch on red for 54 minutes until I've decided that she has waited long enough. My lips move as though I am sleeping and earth falls from my mouth. I create worlds. I carve songs from wood and love. I give you universes built from coded light. I am free. In the lines on my hand, I am free. In the locking of my hair, I am free. From the scars I have inflicted, I am free. And I am loved. Cool, so that was my turn. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much, Audria. Please, everyone, give it up for Audria in the comments. Please give it up for Audria in the comments. Please let them know that they are loved and cared for, that they gave us a blessing today, right? And so we're going to make our space for our next spirit worker, our next artist, our next artist is both a brilliant visual artist and writer and just spirit worker in the world. And so I want us to make sure that we put all of our digital hands together for them in the comment section so they know that we are ready to receive what they have to give us. So let us welcome our next artist to the floor. Let us welcome our next artist to the floor.
Hello. I'm just gonna read my I'm sorry, I'm really nervous. It's called Shores, Moons, and Spiders. I'm sorry. The being of things in the universe. The being of things in the universe is of huge. Your soul is entangled in all things good in the heaven and on earth, like a web of a spider, delicate. Bask in the magical light, and the stars glisten your name, and those before you like you. The black of skin absorbing energy in the sun, and a beacon of ability and potential. The moon and the sun converge and at the shores and beam over the sands of creation in unique crystals of the moon. I'm just gonna read a piece of that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you to Naima. Can we give it up for Naima? Yes, especially with that. So if you have not gotten a chance to see the physical book for the Black Trans Prayer Book, you can check out that piece, which is part of a creation story. And so there's just so many brilliance. So I'm so grateful to Naima for gifting us with that creation story and the magical art that goes along with it, and just really making sure that we get to have creation stories that include and center Black trans people. So please, please, please make sure you give it up for Naima in the comments. Yes, give it up to Naima. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. And so we are ready for our next artist. So if you're all ready for your next artist / spirit worker, if you're ready for your next artist / spirit worker that's going to bless us, please make sure that you make sure you give it up for them in the comments. They're going to introduce themselves and share a bit of their work. And yeah, so make sure that they know that you're ready for them. Okay, so let's make sure that they know that you're ready for them. And with that, I'm going to welcome them to the stage. Hey.
Peace all. My name is seyi, adebanjo. I use they, them pronouns. I'm an artist. I'm a healer. I bridge spirituality and social justice. I'm going to read a couple pieces for you all here tonight. Thank you. Owu call me. I am Oluseyi O Adebanjo, child of Ade Kokoma Ashimi Jalasho, who is the daughter of Simbi, daughter of Moloran Iya Oloya. Thank you for my life, mom and ancestors, Ashe. I've always been gender nonconforming. I use the pronouns they, them, or my name as a way to identify. Seeing these queer, these trans, these gender dynamic youth play reminds me of the importance of documenting stories, families, legacies, paths to spirit, the Orishas, Iya Oloya. My great-grandmother, Moloran Iya Oloya, was a leader and an Oya priestess. Orisha Oya downs a beard and goes to war. Orisha Oya has strength to fight battles and has a realm of nature to assist her actions. conjuring up the blood memory of my ancestors, my orishas, culture, my legacy. She speaks to me. She offers me a path to spirit, inner salvation, ancestors, homeland, my birthright, leadership, power, ritual, Mother Earth. She whispers my legacy is here if I dare follow. How can I follow when society condemns gender expression, freedom, fluidity? Don't be scared, love. Gender fluidity, gender fierceness can be yours. Will you listen? Will you remember? Will you learn about me, your ancestors, your lineage, spirit? Will you embody us? Her whispers grow bigger and turns into light. Light of red comes forward and out stands them, ancestors, orishas, Olodumare. The womb of creation said we have a right to exist, right to love, right to honor her if we choose. Follow the teachings of Chief Moloran Iyaloya, teachings of Orisha, teachings of Oya, teachings of the goddess, teachings of spirit, the goddess lives. This work turns to a spiritual context that preceded westernization and colonialism. Yoruba is diverse and more than its spirituality. It is immersed in every aspect of society. Yoruba is an ethnic identity, a language, a traditional spiritual practice, and a religion, transformed through the transatlantic slave trade into candomblé in Brazil, Lucumi Santeria in Cuba, and other Latin American countries, and voodoo in Haiti, Shango Baptist in Trinidad. Yoruba culture and spiritual practice has strong roots and belief systems, which are experiencing a resurgence. Yoruba land is located in the southwest of Nigeria. The sacred city of Ile-Ife, situated within Yoruba land, is the beacon, the center of home and foundation of a life. According to E. Bolaji Idowu, Ile-Ife is the earthly end to which all must return in order to be told what to do next with their spirit. Ile-Ife and all of earth was created by the goddess, God, or higher power, in Yoruba spirituality called Olodumare, the womb of creation. The cosmology of the Yoruba deals with Olodumare and the Orishas, who are smaller deities, who are the intermediaries between human beings and Olodumare. These Orishas, whom represent different aspects of nature such as fire, water, earth, metal, truth, and justice, are part of the belief system and practices. Indigenous Yoruba spirituality is a practice that is relevant to modern culture. It resonates with people in Nigeria, the larger African continent, the African diaspora, and the global world. This cosmology honors and worships Mother Earth and nature. It provides a structure and tools to deal with the chaos of life, along with answering everyday questions such as being a community member, parent, finding housing, etc. It's embedded in a community system that honors and values people and tradition versus individualism. Dr. Nike Lawal is a professor of linguistics and Yoruba in universities across Nigeria and the United States. According to Dr. Nike Lawal, women are viewed as equal with the men in the eyes of Olodumare. Indigenous Yoruba spirituality does not subjugate women to an inferior position. Women can be priests and leaders in their communities, such as an Iyanifa, who is a woman Ifa priest, the high-ranking mother in Orisha worship. And I just have two more pieces, short pieces. One is looking at gender dynamism. Yoruba as its root affirms gender exploration, gender dynamism, gender fluidity. Women's roles and being gender dynamic in Yoruba land is one of simultaneous truth and power, is redefined differently than what it is in North America and Europe. The construction of gender among the Yoruba is fluid and complementary. Women can exhibit male and female characteristics simultaneously, such as warriors, wives, mothers, and female husbands. Males also, such as male deities, Obatala, king of the white cloth, a creator deity, does pottery work, which is women's work in Nigeria, and also makes shapes, human beings. Another example is Orisha Logunade, who is one gender in Nigeria. But for some in Brazil who practice candomblé, Logunade is gender fluid. Logunade lives 6 months as a woman, and 6 months as a man in Brazil. The truth is, Yoruba as a language is genderless. The pronouns they exist, however, she or he does not exist in the language. Sex and or gender only comes up if one needs to qualify something. A genderless language allows room for fluidity. Yes, there is space for your acceptance. All children of the gender spectrum who don't fit neatly into a binary, who blow up the gender binary. Yes, there is love for you by the divine, by Oya, by Olodumare. You have moved beyond body and are a sacred container for spirit, for healing, for justice, for love. And the last piece is, Oya makes you look in places you don't want to look at, which is why people go back to Orisha. The goddess lives. Iwani Emi, you are the breath of life. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in the divine. Breathe out oppression. Breathe in light. Breathe out fear. Thank you. Peace.
I'm on mute, so that did not help. Everyone give it up for Shay. Everyone give it up for them. Give it up. Give it up in the comments. Yes. And thank you so much for that teaching and that blessing, right? So what was so important for us in getting together a group of Black trans folks from all over the US and beyond, right, is making sure that we have pieces and prayers and poems and spells and incantations that people can use, and as well as like some historical and theological understanding. And so I'm just so grateful for the blessing that you give to with us and just that clarity that you give to us around what gender has looked like in that way. So thank you for that. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, and so what we're gonna do next, y'all, is we're going to make some room for our next artist slash spirit worker. So we're gonna make room for our next artist slash spirit worker, and I'm hoping that you all are ready for that. So if you're ready for our next artist or spirit worker, you can type it in the comments, right? And so I'm also just want to reiterate just how grateful we are that you all are joining with us today, because we know we're doing something. We took a risk putting this piece together, this book together. If y'all don't know, this book, it took about 3.5 years to get this thing made, if not 4 years. Dane would have to like help me figure out some of the math on that. But we wanted to make sure that we got together the exact people who needed to be in the room to create this. And so we have a very big breadth of people and experiences that identifies Black trans people, some that are very steeped in faith communities, some that have been pushed out of faith communities, some that have been beyond faith communities, because again, being Black and trans and being Black and trans and or non-binary means that you are manifesting possibilities that you had to do your own, right? That not everyone manifested for you or told you was possible, right? And so we're going to make space for our next artist on the mic, our next spirit worker artist on the mic. So please welcome them to the digital stage. Yeah. Oops. And Marty, you still on mute. You still on mute, love. You got to unmute yourself so we can hear your good word. We got to hear.
Y'all forgive me. I look young, but this technology stuff, I'm still like, just tether me to a wall and let me like dial.
We good. Listen, we ready for you.
All right. All right. Thanks for having me. I'm so glad to be here, and everything that's been shared so far and everything that's in the book. It's just an honor to be a part. And what I'd like to do just to relax myself and anybody viewing and anyone coming after is to just start by breathing. There's a breathing meditation that I like to do. It's I don't know if you've heard 3-5-7, which is a breathing meditation, but I like to extend it and do 5-7-9. So that's 5 beats inhale, 7 beats holding, and 9 beats releasing. So I'm gonna snap because I can't count and talk at the same time, but just so you can breathe with me, hold, and then release. And you'll see me go, I'll try to do the motion so you know what's happening. So we're gonna breathe in. And release. Let's do it again. 1. And release. if you ever get super anxious, super nervous, you just need to come to ground, come to center, that repetition, you do it as much as you want. I turn it also into a walking meditation. If I had a little more space, I would walk you around and do the breathing. Because if you can't snap or you can't count, you can't clap it out, you can walk it out and it's easier to count your beats. I'm Marty. I'm in the tropics. You might hear rain in the background where I am. I am a writer. I'm a painter. And the piece behind me was actually done by Jerry Mitchell, who passed away. Gosh, that was 2012. He was one of my best friends. And we vibed off each other as visual artists. He would just like create these masterpieces, and he was always sending me encouragement. And like, he was the kind of person that, you sometimes you make excuses for why you don't have time for your art. You don't have time for the things that matter to you. And for me, art, dance, writing, it's my form of prayer, because I was raised in the church, but then I had experiences, which when you read the book, you'll see what happened to me as a 16-year-old that took me away from church and like actual physical spaces of worship. And so my art is like my space for acknowledging the divine. It's my space for celebrating the divine. It's my space for pulling into my world what I want for myself. I'm just newly out, non-binary. People are still like chatting me like, oh my God, did I miss it? Like, has this been a thing for a while? I'm like, until they added that P onto the long list of LGBTQ, I was like, what am I? Am I a gay man stuck in a woman's body? This is the closest thing I could guess. But Jerry, he was like my gay best friend. He was just like, oddly, like he was sick the whole time I knew him. And I just was so sure that I was going to die first. Like, I never conceptualized a loss. I know a lot of us are going through losses right now, and we're losing people that we'd never imagined we would lose. And so I'm putting that out there as kind of the intro to who I am. Because my other work is self-care for advocates. So the art and the dancing, I'm dancing under, my name is Mari Luna Lopez, because she doesn't have social anxiety. Marty does have a lot of social anxiety. So I actually like tricked myself to get on here today. I forgot. I just erased the fact that this was happening. Last night I had like nightmares. I was stuck in church all night. Today I got up, did not remember until like 20 minutes before. I'm like, oh my God, I checked my email and there it is. Like, I had to like fully erase it so that I wouldn't get so nervous that I didn't show up. So I'm just going to read a little piece of my piece. And I hope, you get a sense for my voice, but I'm not going to read the whole piece right now because it's very long. I like very long-winded if you're not catching on. So my piece is called, I'm non-binary and I survived Catholic school. The untold. People sometimes say our stories are our own. We have a right to share them or not share them as we deem fit. But this story, the one that happened to me, the one that I am about to tell, this is a story I owe you. You were raised to believe that good Christians are rewarded on God's earth with good experiences, with protection. You were told God is good all the time. You were taught when you pray, He hears you, He answers, and that God's timing is perfect. And then, just like Jesus, when you needed Him most, God was gone. Your community dragged you through the streets, internet or vocal. They ostracized you. They excluded you. They made their silence a testament. The loudness of it spoke against you. At the very least, you noticed no one spoke up for you. At the very least, you noticed no one spoke up for you. You barricaded yourself in silence. You consoled yourself in your art, in movement, in the physical sensations of being that made sense or brought calm, or at the very least made you feel alive and visible. You were raised to believe that if you performed, were a good, quiet, covered girl, or a brave, silent, strong boy, The world would proceed in the order you were promised. You would be safe. No harm would come to you. Harm, violence, rape, abuse, mistreatment, gossip, unkindness were all things the misbehaved brought upon themselves for their misdeeds. You were raised to believe, and so you did. So after that, that's the intro. I go into my story, and I had like various drafts of the story. I have the sketchbook that I worked from, and so one of the like pieces is this like sign, and it says "No te detengas," which means "do not stop." And so literally near the place where I was kidnapped, there is a sign. Now, so in my notes, I write, "There's a sign now just beyond the bus stop. As you head towards former Fort Clayton, now the city of knowledge. It says, no te detengas, which means keep moving forward, don't stop." I am not sure if it was there then, but that day, the saddest day of my life, the saddest day of my life is when they left me with a broken heart. I was feeling the pain. I tried the pastor's house first. No one was home. I walked to the choir director's home. Her husband told me she was not home. Neither were her daughters. I went to my uncle's house. Neither he nor his family was home. I ended up going to the only home of the Latina on the choir. She was home. She loaned me her bathroom. I went into the bathroom to clean myself up. The light refused to work. No adults were home. I caught the bus to my grandmother's home. Only my elderly grandmother was home. She was sitting in the front room. Not my cousins, not my aunt. I went to my grandmother's room in the back. I sat on the ground alone. I placed my head in a chair and still probably would have reported. But then my older male cousin came home. Him, what's wrong? Me, looks up at him. Me, mutters, nothing. By then, this male cousin had been molesting me for at least 3 years. I came to the conclusion this was what women and girls were for, to be abused, used. Nothing was wrong. This was just what things were just what they were. So my next picture says this is a lot, like literally it's a little plot of land. So I want to like end with something a little bit lighter, which is the end of this piece. And I hope I'm not taking up too much time. Cut me off if I am. Okay. So I just want to say, this is the last piece that I get to. I say, I have grown to accept 3 things. 1, most religious spaces are extremely physically and emotionally unsafe spaces for me. 2, I have a right to a relationship with the divine that is self-defined and self-guided. It is creative and intuitive. It does not look like other spirituality or religiosity, and that is what works for me right now. My divine practice involves movement, dance, salsa, merengue, bachata, and especially kizomba. Kizomba of so much choice and so much respect for all bodies' right to sensuality. In the past, it has involved capoeira, a spiritual summoning and remembering of my ancestors. My spirituality is always rooted in my heritage and my culture. If there is a God, she is firmly on the side of the oppressed. She does not impose her authority. She does not demand obedience. She is the God of consent. She is trans and supports other trans beings. Z believes in the power of words, rages when we are misnamed or addressed in ways that do not make us feel empowered and seen. They stand by us. They see us. They know our pain and hear our cries, and they support us when we make the choices that we need to feel safe. That includes both turning away from and turning to them. Thank you.
Yes, let's give it up again for Marty. Give it up for Marty. Yes. And thank you so much for that. So just one, and so I even see in the comments people that are really appreciative of you talking about being non-binary and surviving the church in that particular way, and specifically around being able to name assaults, being able to name all the things that you do, and so gracefully throughout your piece. And so I know that's some comments I've gotten from some people that have already read the book.
You.
And so we're just, and so I don't know if y'all, but Marty is joining us from outside the U.S., so thank you so much for even just joining us and taking this time. Because I don't know what time is it where you are?
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
It's 6:46, and I was like this the whole time, like, please don't let the lights go out.
So thank you.
I'm so glad that I was able to be here.
Yes. Yeah, so please give it up for Marty in the comments. And Marty, we will see you and talk to you very soon. Yes. All right. So I have some good news and bad news, okay? So let me know if you want the good news first or the bad news, okay? So let me know in the comments if you want the good news or the bad news first, okay? I'm gonna start out. I'm gonna give y'all the bad news. So the bad news is we're already halfway through the show. So I don't know if everyone can give us a collective awe on the comments. As a collective, I'm sad about it too, right? The good news is that we still have a whole another half of the show, right? So we have a whole other half of the show and people that are going to be joining us as spirit workers and poets. The news of the reality right now is that it is currently my turn to share something on the mic, and so I'm going to share a couple pieces with y'all that I wrote, and I'll talk to you about the third piece that I wrote for the piece. Okay, so this piece, so like I said, we tried to make pieces that were we are trying to create pieces that specifically were things that people could use right then and there, like so Black trans folks be able to use right then and there, whatever moment, regardless of what background they come from, spiritually or just beyond faith-wise, right? And so this is a chant I wrote for Black trans travel. So when we do get to a point when people are traveling on planes again regularly and things like that, this is a chant and prayer I really wrote for my meditation I wrote for myself, kind of going through the TSA. Okay. Fuck the TSA and every body scanner that thought it could embarrass me. May the fingers of whoever pats me down in public rot the fuck off. Fuck every state agent that thinks looking at my genitals will better inform them if I am a terror risk. Fuck the DMV for misgendering me on this expensive-ass ID. No misshapen government-approved weapon formed against me shall prosper. I am the truth, the light, and I will always reach my destination fully intact, humanity and all, divinity and all, and so it is, because I have claimed it. That's my first piece. One of the other pieces, and I'll just kind of mention it a little bit in this before I get into my last piece. But so one of the other pieces I wrote for the book is specifically about a character that I talk a lot about in my poems and talk a lot about in some of my workshops and things like that, which is the character of Joseph of Genesis in the Bible, who is Yusuf in the Quran. I grew up in a Muslim and Christian household, and so spent a lot of time writing out what does it mean to go from a theology of violence to a theology that centers survivors of violence. So that's one sort of section of the book that people can kind of check out is, looking at when we think especially about the Abrahamic traditions, right? So when we think about Christianity and Islam and Judaism, that's a lot of times there's usually only three sort of measures or thoughts that people have around violence when we talk about it. And that is either one, that maybe our denomination says don't do violence. Two, if you are going to do violence, that is this is how much violence you can do, or three, just pretend like violence doesn't exist, right? Like that doesn't happen. And so we know that violence does exist, right? And so a lot of what I also took time to do is look at the story of Yusuf/Joseph as a story of accountability, as a potentially trans character in the text that, expressly gets the accountability from their family and other people that have caused them harm, right? And so I think that is just to me a meditation that I sit with every day, and I'm hoping that those of y'all that get to check out the book will get to really kind of sit with that. Yeah, and so I'm going to read this. I'm nervous to read this next one because this next piece, I'm reading it because, you know, it's a piece I have in the book. It is a piece that is for Black trans folks and Black trans folks alone. So the language in this is for Black trans people and Black people alone to decide how they feel about it, all that kind of fun stuff. And this is a difficult meditation for healing the heartbroken. Yeah, and I'm writing this as a Black trans person who also, like many of us, you know, seeks joy and love and all those different things, right? You are always in love with everyone but yourself. You love niggas who smile at you once. You love niggas who are wounded, mysterious looking ass niggas whose biggest secret is they not hiding shit but the size of the void. Still, you try coaxing water from desert stones till you just a pile of bones and shy smile with not even any gristle left of you. You heartbroken so often, you gave the arrhythmia a name, called it maybe next time I'll be lovable. Called it, why don't niggas ever call back? Called it, some people just die alone. Called it, generational curse. Called it, karmic debt. Called it, I have always come from loneliness. Called it, see, I got confused. I thought we were supposed to reduce, reuse, and recycle, so I gave this trauma another trot around the block. Breathe, love. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Keep breathing. When you exhale, imagine you are releasing all this dust, all the niggas sitting in the chambers of your heart among the shards. Imagine breathing out all that crusty debris makes the walls softer and they start to grow back together. Envision you are building a place inside your heart for your healing. Imagine that healing sits on a bed of light. It is magnifying every second, every day. It demands your attention. It came from you. You manifested it. You have many blessed names. You will be called manifester. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Take one more deep breath in. Take one more deep breath out. Take a few seconds with your eyes closed. Manifest a memory of someone, anyone telling you something truly good about yourself. Take this moment to believe them. Take that thought, wrap it into the foundation of your left and right ventricles. Feel it expanding in you. Feel it moving warmth through your veins and arteries. Allow yourself to be still with that feeling. Allow yourself to feel compassion for the parts of you that want to be rebuilt. When you are ready, return to the world and open your eyes. So thank y'all. Thank y'all for letting me share with y'all some of those pieces. Thank you so much for that. Yes, yes. And so I'm going to bring up my co-host because she's going to take over for act number 2. She's going to take over act number 2. So I'm bringing back to the screen, the lovely Dane Figueroa Didi. Hey, Dane Figueroa Didi.
Hey, everybody!
And how you feeling? How you feeling, Dane Figueroa Didi?
Let me tell you something. Everybody have just blessed. They have just blessed, baby. So I'm feeling real good. I'm like, yes. What's up? What you about to say?
Oh no, I want to share an order for people who is coming up, because I see some people we got in our green room that haven't heard our spiel about what happened. So I see them in the green room, and I just want to let them know. Should I let them know?
Go on, share it, child.
So I just want to let y'all know. So for people that are in our green room, and so people that are watching from the YouTube and from the Facebook, y'all can't see this, but we have our own little separate place to chat. And so for our folks in the green room, so I'm seeing John, Imani, and I'm seeing Azure and Rochelle and Aya. So everyone, so I have the order sitting here in our private chat. And I'm going to bring y'all up. So we're going one after the other. Y'all going to introduce yourselves because we believe in you to speak your existence for yourself, because we know that y'all can do that. So we're going to bring y'all up in order. I just put the order in that chat. And is there anything else that you need from me?
No, I was going to say we taking a little break. I think this is our 5-minute break. So, if anybody wanted to go get some water, wanted to go use the bathroom, wanted to go take care of some other business, you can go ahead. But Act 2 is about to start, and I think about 4 more minutes now. And so what I'm gonna do really is just sit up here and like shoot the shit with you while we wait for this next 4 minutes. But I'll be counting it down, or we can go use the bathroom or do something else with our lives.
I actually want to ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Okay, so and I'm saying this because, you know, a lot of us, even a lot of our, you know, so we've been in this book, you know, for a minute now, right? So we've been in it together for a minute now. And so I know a lot of people that are watching this right now haven't necessarily even gotten to read the book yet. So they're just here supporting us and they're waiting for their book. So they're going to see the book in a little bit. Some of them have it already. What has been your favorite part of creating this process? And what do you hope that other people get out of this project?
What was my favorite part of this process? I would say, you know what? I think it was our healing retreat.
Okay.
So if people don't know how it worked, is that we also had a healing retreat with about 15 of our 19 other contributors. It was us, and it was about 15 contributors. And we had a healing retreat, and it was really, really beautiful to spend those couple of days in community and loving and affirming community with other Black, trans, and non-binary folks. And from that is where we kind of like started the beginning of the writings, right, of what eventually became the Black Trans Prayer Book. Then we added, it was always our intention to add more folks to the tome. And also, so even though like a couple of our other contributors weren't able to come to the healing retreat, we didn't have enough funding. And we had to fight for funding. We had to fight.
Listen,
even get this piece published and all the portions done. We were able to have like a little meeting, a virtual meeting with the other contributors. And so I think that like being in that community and being in that space with other Black, trans, and non-binary folks was just really, really refreshing and beautiful. And it was very different than other, you know, quote unquote conferences or gatherings, because for me, it felt like one of the things that we always wanted to do, and one of the things that I think happened, was that we didn't want people to have to stress out about money at all. And so it felt nice to also feel taken care of and honored and affirmed and loved. Because I think so often Black trans people are asked to share their brilliance, but some of these organizations that have a lot of money, have $1 million budgets, be not wanting to pay us, even though they actually have the means to pay us, right? And so I think that was probably one of my favorite parts, is that, you know, we love our community, and we were able to, in those moments, you know, I don't want to use the word support, because I feel like support is so like whitewashed and so like what white people say, and it comes from like such a place of privilege. But I'll say that we were able to like, we were able to watch the manifestation of what we had envisioned. That's the language I'll use.
Yeah, that's some feedback. I don't know what's happening on my side. You seeing that feedback? Is that me?
What's the feedback?
Oh, I heard feedback. That was what I was saying. I was claiming that's my computer. I guess I need to work on that. But yeah. So yes to everything that you're saying. That to be able to adequately pay Black trans folks and to be able to create a healing resource took so much maneuvering, took so much negotiation, because a lot of systems don't necessarily want us to have tools for healing, right? That people often, like even when you think about nonprofit systems and other stuff, they benefit off of people who are most targeted not actually having the power to create our own stuff, right? So it's
Right.
very much, and so as this is the last day of Pride season, right, we have to acknowledge the ways that many LGBTQ organizations benefit from the disenfranchisement of Black and brown trans people, right, and non-binary people, and disabled people, right, and working class people, right? And so to claim your own space means that you're often going to be denied, while meanwhile, an organization that can talk about you without having you in the room might make hundreds of thousands of dollars to do a 16th of the work.
Right. Correct. And so, and of course, right, like one of our dreams too is to do the documentary of it. And so, yeah, it's just, I'm really grateful. I'm really honored that that everyone who contributed to this work said yes. When they were called upon, right? They said yes. And so I know that we're about to start our second act. I want to say thank you to all the contributors, right? And I want to say thank you to the ancestors. And of course, we're going to do this again, and to the gods, right? And thank you to you, J. Mace. Yeah, because you know what? Black trans people we deserve more than better. Okay, all right. Well, that was our break.
So I'm gonna so one again, and also if you didn't hear me, thank you, Dane Figueroa Didi. I'm like, because I love, y'all don't know how much we actually love each other. We talk like damn near every day. So this has been a blessing to do this project with Dane. But yeah, so I'm gonna get out of the way so that we can bring up our next person. So this is me saying goodbye, and let's see who our next person is.
I love you. All right, everybody. Give it up for our next artist, Faith Worker.
Oh, hi.
Hey, boo.
Hey, what's going on? I'm loving the hair. Is this our look?
Thank you. This is, well, you know what? This is my auntie my auntie is in that bracket of folks who are vulnerable, right? And so auntie could not do my hair, and so I said, okay, let me do a little bit of homage to Climax. Remember the woman who was like, "Don't slap me."
No, I'm loving it. All it needs is a little crown of some sort, and I feel like that's gonna be the new look. So,
thank you, boo. Well, let me go ahead and get Mace to go on take my video out so that you can go on and take the stage.
Okay. What's up, y'all? My name's Azure D. Osborne Lee. My pronouns are he and they. This is my cat, Cream Cheese. You may see her moving around at some point during this. So, hi. My primary practice is theater as an artist. I'm a playwright. It's been a really exhausting month. Like, I thought that Pride was not going to be exhausting because we're all inside, but actually, no, incorrect. They got me writing monologues and looking at videos, et cetera, et cetera. It's wild. So I'm really happy to be here with you now, but I'm also tired, and I will fully acknowledge that. So I'm going to read a little piece that I wrote in here, and then I'll probably talk a little bit because my piece is not that long. And then I'll just pass it along. So like we can all have a cute Friday. So in my first time of great suffering, I learned to pray and talk to my ancestors in the same way I saved my pennies, by walking. Each day I walked the 35 minutes each way to and from school. As I walked, I sometimes listened to music, but inevitably each day there would come a time when I would pause the music and begin to talk. As I began to work up a sweat, the fervor of my seemingly one-sided conversations would increase. I'd vent my complaints, express my worries, and prepare new plans of attack. Sometimes I'd prepare a special prayer by walking through crossroads the way a man in a Chicago metaphysical shop taught me. 3 sides, then a diagonal cross. As I made my way through the intersection, I'd toss 3 pennies and a prayer over my shoulder and not look back. My spells and prayers then were reckless, characterized by the passion and short-sightedness of a neophyte. Through struggle and reflection, I came to realize what was truly important to me, and eventually, I made it through that time, much humbled and somewhat wiser. In my second time of great suffering, I have exercised restraint that I never knew I had. Through the hardest nights of my life, I have clung to what I know to be loving and right. I have not released my shadow self upon the world. Because I now walk less, I pray whenever I can, whenever I need to. I use my tarot cards as one tool to guide and sustain me. Each day I draw 2 cards, first asking, who do I need to be today? And next asking, what can I expect from today? These are questions I started asking when I first began to develop a relationship with the tarot about a decade ago. Asking these questions now gives me a daily ritual and a way to deepen my relationship with my practice. I use what talents and wisdom I have to help me along. Here are some of the spells that have helped me through. So then there are some spells, but you got to buy the book to get the spells, because I'm not going to sit here and read you spells on this video. But I will say that I think that, I have a practice that is rooted in hoodoo, which, ultimately speaking, is a practical kind of magic. So I'm gonna turn this around because I'm actually sitting right next to my altar and give y'all a little look at what my sort of apothecary looks like. So I've got my dried herbs and things here, which I've accumulated over the years. But you can get this stuff online. You can get it from a local shop. Although this one shop I was going to, it got bought out by some white people, and then they were trying not to sell me something because they were like, it's fair trade and it's poison or something. And I was like, child, I don't have time for this. Nobody's trying to take this for medicinal purposes. This is for witchcraft. Please get out of my face. So then you got good old internet and Etsy to help you out. So here are some of the ingredients in here. Lavender. Y'all got lavender around. If you ain't got lavender, I know you got a friend that got lavender. Chamomile. Now you can rip a tea bag if you need to, but chamomile is also lovely, harvested and dried. Balm of Gilead. Now that's what got one of my minister aunties, because my aunties love to become ministers in their old age. They retire and all of a sudden they want to be a Christian minister. So Balm of Gilead, you can get that pretty easily. And so I was actually able to talk to one of my Christian minister aunties about conjure oils, but I just kind of flipped the script a little bit. And I was like, but what about that Balm of Gilead? That anointing oil? And she was like, oh, I see what you're laying down. So then I actually made her a conjure oil in her house. See, because Balm of Gilead is cited in the Bible. There you go. Lemon balm, again, you can rip a tea bag for that. You can do, that's pretty easy to come by. And all of these should be inexpensive. Don't be paying a grit for these. Things that are expensive are kind of the antithesis of hoodoo. So eyebright, you might have to find a little bit. Violet leaves, okay, but rose petals, I know y'all know how to get some rose petals. Rose hips, that's just the fruit that comes off of the rose plant afterwards. Don't try to eat them fresh because it'll crack your tooth. I saw a white woman do that on TV just a minute ago. And we got cocoa powder, right? You make brownies. Cocoa powder is great. Allspice, cinnamon, all heal. There's a lot of really edible things because I'm a kitchen witch. So you may have seen my, I also have cookbooks down here. So what else do I want to say? That's all I'm going to read from the book, but I will say that I did start a little reparations action. I didn't ask Mace or Dane. I just did it because that's how I do. So I posted online and I was like, hey, this book is coming out. Okay, this way. This book is coming out, and anybody that wants to buy some Black trans people this book, go ahead and drop the $45. So I'm sure they can attest to the fact that I think I have ordered 8 books from reparations money. So if anybody feels drawn to do something similar, buy a book for a friend, etc., keep that love flowing. And that's all I got to say about that. Send it around.
Yes, thank you so much, Boo. I think that that's so important, right? Like, it's like, because listen, I think that we can certainly have a conversation about economic violence, and its effect on Black trans people. So if you are on the call tonight, I'm talking to you, white people, white cis people. $45. $45. Go on. Buy a copy for a Black trans person today. Thank you. All right, thank you, Boo.
Bye.
So good to see you. It's so good to see you. Yeah, everybody give another hand. Another hand. Ow. So grateful for all of these amazing artists. And yes, Boo, I seen you buy them copies. I was like, work. All right, everybody. Up next, we're gonna welcome our next artist, spirit worker to the my sister.
What's up, girl? What's tea?
Hey, girl. Well, let me go. Girl, listen. I miss you so much. We need a FaceTime date real soon. A sister date real soon.
Hey, I miss you, y'all. Happy Tuesday, Finn?
Yeah. Well, all right. Let me go on backstage. Go on. Take it, sis. Take it.
Yes, ma'am. All right, peace and love, everybody. Happy Tuesday. My name is Imani, and I don't know, I'm still figuring out how I'm identifying career-wise. I don't know what I want to do, but I am, I do agriculture stuff in Detroit, and I'm a flower specialist, and I'm definitely working to become an independent farmer florist. So that's one thing. And I don't know, I'm just in a place of just much gratitude for the gift of contemplation during this year and many years prior as a young adult. Yeah, so I guess I'm just not gonna be long at all, y'all. I'm gonna just share some things that I've been writing. I'm like one of those people, I just, how when it comes up, you just got to write it down or you'll lose it. So I'll just be scrambled and have scattered thoughts everywhere. So this piece is untitled, but I'm just going to read it. It's so fucking easy to give into impatience. Get frustrated with the woes of life. Get angry with your suffering. Darkness will always exist. Therefore, some power can only come through anguish. Then we obtain blessedness with grace because of determination. I think this culture of pushing, encouraging self-love and self-care at times can allow us to question the disharmony of our hearts. Everyone is miserable. I'm so over the culture of linking emotions solely to the brain, the mind. It feels as if science wants us to unremember our spiritual hearts so as to eradicate the soul under our gnosis. Yes, my conspiracy theorist brain will reach that far. Hospitality towards the enemy is sacred because we remember the strength it takes to love. Divine love is sacred and wealth is not a power. We can be hospitable to ourselves, especially through interdependence. Have you ever felt like a stranger in your own inner world? Self-discovery can provide those kind of feels. I don't doubt that slaves, even from unrecorded history, showed loving kindness to their oppressors. Slaves throughout millennia and in other dimensions. Slavery just evolves as we're expected to. Will hospitality and genocide always dance together? Grief comes and goes. Manipulation is manipulation. True giving is true giving. Living is living. Forgiving is forgiving. Setting firm, healthy boundaries is setting firm, healthy boundaries. Hospitality is loving, and underneath it lies no intention to harm, but when God wills it, it is easy. Nothing is suffice for the unimaginative. Love is to sacred as it is to the fire of salvation. And yeah, that's probably it for me. Thank y'all for y'all time.
Thank you so much, sis. I'll text you so that we can go on, and not right now, but I'll text you later so that we can go on and schedule our next sister time.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Everybody, clap your hands. All right, let us bring up our next artist and spirit worker. Oh, hey, Chad.
There.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing pretty good. Doing pretty
Awesome.
good.
Awesome. Well, let me go ahead and go on backstage.
And you actually owe me some time too. You keep forgetting about me.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. I know. It has been a really busy month. So, but I'll shoot you a text. Well, I am, because we normally I am each other.
I hear you.
All right.
First, I just want to thank both J Mace and Lady Dane for having me participate in this book. I really wasn't expected to be picked to do this. I hadn't written anything in a very long time before I got with them, and it was an awesome time that we had the retreat, and it brought up some because I used to write before I got sick, and so it really brought some things up for me. And though my pieces are rather short, it really helped me. And a lot of people don't know, but I lost my mom in the end of March to colon cancer, and because of the virus, I've been in New Jersey in her apartment ever since before she passed away. And so it's given me a lot of time to do a lot of contemplation and thinking, and helping me to get back to my writing again. So that has been really a blessing, and I want to give thanks to my mom for never giving up and giving birth to me, and for her continual as an adult when I became an adult, for her continual support in everything that I did and didn't do. And I this will be Mother's Day was my first without her. Father's Day, my father had passed a while ago, and my birthday's in 2 weeks, and it'll be my first one without her. So it's a little difficult, but it's really been good. The virus has actually given me time to do a lot of thinking and processing of my life. What I decided to do today, because I have 3 pieces, and I was trying to figure out which one that I wanted to share tonight. And like I said, they're not very long, but all 3 of them speak to me for my life and where I'm at. I'm newly out as non-binary, though I've probably felt this way for many, many years. But just now putting the tag of it on me and living that truth. So I thought that I would pick the one piece that I did, the one little poem that I did called Reality. Joy is my reality. Peace is where I live. Grass beneath my feet. Light surrounds me everywhere I go. I am a king, spelled with an X, living my ever-growing truth. My reality confuses you, but I pay you no mind. My truth is not for your amusement. It took me a long time to get here, and I cannot and I won't stop, now or ever. This is my reality. Watch me shine. So yeah, if you want to read the other two, of course you got to buy the book, and you know, and enjoy what we have enjoyed, and that's a community of artists and spiritualists and healers together. Thank you. Peace.
Thank you, love. Everybody, clap them hands. Give it up, give it up, give it up. Thank you, love. Everybody, you know what's so funny is that on here, I'm always like, oh, wait, I'm out of the shot. I be trying to adjust myself on my chair, and it's like, what is happening? All right, everybody. Give it up, give it up, give it up. We'll bring up our next artist and spirit worker up to the stage.
Hey, everybody.
Oh my good, one of my babies.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing better. One, I just want to thank you and Jay Mace. Like, shout out to y'all. Like, y'all are really bomb people. And I just need to have a separate conversation with y'all. But like, honestly, thank you for holding me accountable, for carrying me through. Like, I think that whole last year was like one of the darkest times of my life. And I just did not talk about it and very much suffering in silence. And, you know, y'all just like carried me through, held me accountable, and really loved me through that. And that is something I can't repay. And I thank you for that. And like, I don't have the words because I don't know where I would have been. And I'm glad to be in a lot better place, but things like I think about perspective and think about where I was until like where I am now, and like that shit was wild. But thank you, just thank you.
I love you, and I'm gonna go ahead and get off the screen before I start crying. You know how I feel about you. I love you, child. No.
Hi everybody, my name is Naima. My pronouns are she, they. Shout out to my cohort. I fucking love you guys. I'm so glad that I had that experience. Y'all just brighten my heart and my soul. And to be in a community that is so healing and seeing everyone's life flourishing and really having each other's back. That's the shit that keeps me alive. So shout out to y'all. Please make this on this live. Like, I got it. Right now, got a good. I'm gonna tea. No one asked if they wanted it. No questions asked. Never. It didn't matter. I know you are familiar with consent, but the only one that mattered was yours. The only fluidity was the steam of violence poured onto the body that you only saw as a body. By the time you read this, your ancestor has disowned you, left you to find someone else who will honor it, ask for guidance instead of orders.
Hey, Boo, can you do me a favor? For some reason, your sound was being weird.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you good now. Can you restart your piece for us?
Yeah, I can restart it. Can you still hear me?
Yep, I can still hear you.
Okay,
so what I'll do is, what happened was when I got brought back up, your sound started working for some reason. So I'll just turn off my camera and my mic so you can go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me know. Okay. Father's Day. Think of the body as an ancestor who has seen too much before it was given a chance to breathe, has had to make sweetness out of the bitterness of scalding tea. No one asked if they wanted it. No questions asked. Never. It didn't matter. I know you are familiar with consent, but the only one that matters was yours. The only fluidity was the steam of violence poured onto the body that you only saw as a body. By the time you read this, your ancestor has disowned you, left you to find someone else who will honor it, ask for guidance instead of orders, ask for respect instead of obedience. It is more difficult than you think to leave someone who never thought you were real in the first place, only wanted to take with nothing to offer you in return but fear. What is it called when you replace violence with love? The first lines are ghost lines. The credit goes to Jessica Lene from her poetry book, Amphibian. And I'm just going to run into the second one. A letter to myself on how to celebrate. Sis, as mom always told you, put on your best fit for your pre-fated date with death. Throw on Bitch Better Have My Money by Rihanna to remember everything that has tried to kill you, has failed miserably, offering shame as a sacrificial lamb, and you have befriended those parts as well. The monsters under your bed were just lonely and looking for home, and you've taken them in, loved them still, but loved yourself more. You've taken what is yours and left the rest, gifted yourself kindness and forgiveness with empathy as the bow on top, for understanding that everyone is just trying to be heard, be loved from lovelessness, but remembering humbly where you belong in all of this. Put on your Black platform boots to stomp on the ground, wake the earth up one more time because you've died to be reborn again. That is cyclical. The only importance is right now. You are today years old. You are here and never alone in the ways you imagined, bringing and binding your life into a spell of resurgence. Thank you.
Thank you, love. Thank you. Thank you. I love you.
I love you too.
I love you. Just wanted to say that. All right then. Everybody clap them hands. Clap them hands. Let's bring our next artist and spirit worker on up to the stage.
Hey, Dane.
Oh, hey, boo.
Hey, it's been a minute. Good to see you.
I know, right? It's good to see you too. All right, well, let me go on backstage.
This is the first time I've been able to share a stage with Lady Dane and Jay Mace, so I know I'm coming up. Appreciate you all having me. Appreciate going after Naima, who was my healing retreat writing buddy, and just sending lots of love to her and the rest of the contributors. I was fortunate enough to have 3 different pieces in the prayer book, and 2 of them are spells. One is a hair mojo set of instructions, and the second is a no harm protection spell. But tonight, I have the honor of sharing a longer piece with you all. And I've been treating this as like a love letter to Black folks, to Black trans folks in particular, including myself. And I've also really have seen this piece as like a meditation. So for anyone who's kind of into longer meditations, I might suggest that you take a seat, make sure you're lying down, if that's kind of your meditation preference. And I was able to read this piece to a creative circle of mine with the lights off. So if you would like that experience of being in the Blackness while I share this love letter, I'll invite you to do that. This piece is called My Black Soul Absorbs Every Shade of Being. When I breathe, I celebrate my darkness as if it were life itself. Each pass of air around the curves of my full lips and my dark-skinned mouth is a joyous occasion worthy of comets blazing across the sky. My darkness, much like the darkness of space, is the fervor of soul jubilee. A right passion of all of Earth's experiences packed into an unseeable tiny organism which scats D and A, N and A. A kinetic explosion by millions of particles that brag about the histories of gospel and blues and funk and rock and roll in their scattered release. A wild, ecstatic dance containing secrets of dawn and dusk in its curious beating swirl. My breath reminds me that my skin possesses a path to paradise. And as each dark person revels in the pleasure of their presence, we are imbued with the truth that we are in fact the presence of everything. I understand my darkness as an intricate pattern of galaxies, a pitch of darkness that consumes the cosmos like a deep swallow. Its physical matter acts like a gulp that pulses through space with such a force and completeness, which is often forgotten in the smallness of our human lives. And sometimes I mistake the pervasiveness of darkness for nothingness, and I misrelate its fullness for absence. But the substance of which we are made, we have confirmed, is of a dark variety. And under a microscope, although it is dark and it appears transparent to our narrow range of vision, this means that darkness surrounds us, yet we cannot see it. Light, after all, is not necessary for darkness to exist. Dark material self-generates and self-preserves. It never needed nothing to survive, as my earth lineage would say. And we must remember that the cycles of violently eruptive surprise is a quaint and dangerous ritual among civilized societies, not to be outdone by the last, and is always justified by the next. And I'm aware that we are leaving the past and therefore we are changing form. The parts around us, conditioned to value light, might lament our inattention to it, as if it was once a singularly prized essence. We are shifting from operating from one dimension along a cosmic surface of defined borders and enforceable bands of exclusion, and our emergence from the spectrum legacy puts much into perspective. As travelers, we have wasted so much this millennia in its previous form. Blackness is the color of a star exploded. When my darkness, my gender, and my spiritual essence come together in their magnificent and restless energies, they give rise to my Black soul. My Black soul mirrors the limitless of galaxies, the futures of light years, and the macrocosm of creation. It is everything's emblem. My Black soul absorbs every shade of being. It is a refutation to the skeptics, a pronouncement to the unawares, and most important, a truth to our cosmology. Darkness is our fundamental formation. Black folks' existence show the human condition can host profusion within complexity. In other words, we can have it all. I'm an Afrofuturist by nature. I am Black, I am masculine, I am feminine in no equal parts, internally and externally, complements of sacred energies, and I'm a little different each day. It's always been this way because my eyes are moons, my hands are beings, and my blood is stars. As I accumulated myself on the healing path, my power grew with self-generation, much like the darkness of the cosmos, which wraps around our celestial bodies and our human bodies. I am an eclipse toward my Black soul, so I can experience divine totality. The preciousness of living our most liberated lives for Black trans folks is the embodiment of dark matter. My Black soul is maintained through integrity, with no parts missing or misaligned. I need every trans person and non-binary person to be here for my completeness. My spirit unravels, my body resists when one of us is abused, hunted, ostracized, or disrespected. Movements are an effort to mend our collective psychic tear. We may be in pieces, but we've never been destroyed. I patch and patch and patch with every self-affirmation and with every act of love toward my kindred. So in the name of Saint Marsha P. Johnson and Saint Jim McHarris, giftings of the Black trans prophetic tradition, I'm aware of the holiness of this collective. When our bodies are sacrificed at America's altars of white supremacy, protest becomes our ceremony. Naming is our prayer, world-making our alchemy. We hold our psychic consciousness when we breathe in, and our unitary fortitude when we breathe out. We release reverberations of pain through our beautiful bodies back into the cosmos like sacred conductors. We transform what hurts, which means we found our way to live forever. Thank you. And you can read the entire meditation and essay in the book.
Thank you, Boo. Thank you. I said, yes. Yes. Yes.
That makes me happy.
That has happened so much this whole evening, like hearing everyone share their works. I'm like, yes. I'm like, you better usher in. You better usher in. It's so good to see you, love. Thank you, everybody. Clap them hands, honey. All right, everybody. Up next, we're going to bring up our next artist and spirit worker to the stage. Oh, hey, boo!
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm real good.
I was wondering. I was like, are you going to dance tonight? What are you going to do?
Not tonight.
I got you. I got you. All right then. Well, go on. I'll leave you here on the stage.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi everyone. My name is Daniel. I use he and they pronouns. And it's been beautiful to hear everyone tonight, and such an honor to be a part of this collection. So I'm going to read excerpts from the chapter that I wrote, also encouraging folks to buy the book. And I'm going to jump around a little bit just to give some sampling. And I introduced myself in the piece, so that's all I'm going to say about myself. So the chapter is called Honoring What We Know to Be True, Black Transness as Medicine. I walk in the wisdom of those who came before me and those at my back guiding me. I humbly ask their permission with love and respect to share what we've been knowing across these pages. I call upon this life and those past. I write this chapter from a place of integration, freedom, and deep love. I write knowing that even as these words manifest themselves onto paper, I am spiritually ever evolving and growing in my understanding. I also send love to that which I do not yet and may never understand. I feel at peace with that aspect of my own humanness. What a twisted game it would be to ever gain full understanding of everything. Ashe. May we speak of our lasting truths even as they deepen and mature and sometimes modify over time. To write these truths to and for Black people, other trans people, and for Black trans kindred is to revel in the sacredness of the knowledge we gain by existing in and coming into these embodied forms. To revel in all that we bear witness to and learn from one another's altars. May we honor our powerful divinity and enduring felt sense that conforming to cisgender heterosexual paranoia will not provide any of the vitality our spirit-filled lives require. Let us not dare to speak of feeling lucky for being allowed into a community of practice. We have as much to teach communities of practitioners as we do to learn from the wisdom of hundreds and sometimes thousands of years of knowledge and tradition as practitioners. At the crossroads of our Black trans encounters and frictions within our religious and spiritual communities exists a friend called evolution, whose twin is elevation. That is to say, our traditions remain alive, participating in the elevation of our kinfolk through their capacity to simultaneously evolve and to honor their foundations as we live inside of them, not as we are tolerated selectively in spite of them. It is my knowing that we play a major role in showing the way forward in a tradition evolution. It is our role to live powerfully in our truths and the wisdom to be found there. I'm just under 3 years initiated as a practitioner of the Afro-diasporic tradition called Lukumi. I am a mixed Black, transmasculine, non-binary queer person who does not identify as a man or a woman. I honor the woman I lived as most of my life and have kneeled before the altar of my little brown girl and called her home. I am a radical trans feminist, performance artist, militant intellectual, old soul, bruje, dog mapa, nibbling, auntie, daughter, friend, poet, community member, and medium. I am presently what my tradition calls an aborisha. I am on my path. I've been invited by the editors of this prayer book to speak truth to the power of how I have been able to remain deep in this tradition, ever growing in my mediumship and my medicine, after having had my faith rocked to its core by an outright attack on my personhood. I have only been able to remain here by exiting my first ile, the name for the religious houses in Lukumi, where I was met with painful anti-trans, anti-femme, and generalized anti-queer violence. In this chapter, I choose to acknowledge the moment of rupture that strengthened my understanding of the never-ending faithfulness of the Orisha, my ancestors, and spirit guides. I choose to acknowledge this rupture without retelling the narrative. There has been an upsurge in interest, academic and otherwise, in the presence and experiences of transgender and non-binary initiates and priests within Lukumi and adjacent traditions. It is an interest that paints the reality as perhaps rosier than the cost of fighting to stay within the secrets and profound beauty of this tradition. This interest is one that does not necessarily talk about how many of us go from ile to ile, looking for those who will welcome us without issue and not read the odus, stories of the Orisha that help direct our lives, through patriarchal, homophobic, transphobic, or colonial lenses. Our practice is one of work and devotion over a lifetime, with surrender and trust, knowing that what will come in these acts of devotion is the best life we could possibly have. It is not an easy path by any stretch of the imagination. It is one about facing every last demon within ourselves. Status is far from its purpose. It is a tradition that shows us what we must leave behind in order to gain a fuller life, even when such shedding and growth does not always feel like fullness in the moment. It is therein that we find great spiritual wealth beyond our conscious capacity of imagination. It takes humility beyond what we feel is possible. We begin to understand our own divinity when we understand that God and her and his intercessors might know more about our destinies than we do. Since this is the reality for us, and we give so much trust over to the rituals, divination practices, elders, and tradition, there is far too much at stake to be contending with those who use the tradition to reign over others with ego, power, exploitation, and violence. It is, across many planes, a life or death risk to work with the wrong people. For this reason, we must remain fiercely present, walking in light and iwapele, with our entire truths, no matter who this angers. It is my contention that Black transness is medicine, full stop. When I say medicine, I refer to the existential balm and healing light that the encasement of our bodies and the substance of our spiritual lives and hearts provide for ourselves and our ancestors, as well as for the world of those around us. We are light, we are power, we are beauty, we are the ferocity of our ancestors, and yes, their wildest dreams. And for those who would stand against us, we pray for their elevation. Our transness was also conceived of in the eyes of our Creator. We are not going against what he created. Our lives help elevate the spirits that need our assistance to send them on their way and create the path for those coming alongside and behind us, blood and spiritual kin. We belong in the traditions of blood and stone. Ashe all day. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, love. Thank you. I was like, work. You said full stop. Everybody clap them hands. Thank you, love. All right, everybody, let's bring up our next artist and spirit worker.
Hey, what's up?
TS too much.
3 months.
Miss B, I cannot even take this ponytail, baby. This ponytail is giving me motherfucking poetic justice. It's giving me you about to dance in a 90s video. It's giving me you's about to slay real quick, real fast on the mic and on the ones and the twos and on.
Oh my God.
Amani said filet. What?
Hey, Lonnie.
Girl, you are carrying tonight. You better slay.
Thank you.
All right then. Let me go on backstage. I love you, sis.
Love you too. Hey y'all, so what's up? I'm Allison. I was gonna play the harp for y'all tonight, instead of reading an excerpt, but my harp is in the car and I'm not bringing it up 3 flights of stairs, so sorry y'all. So okay, what I'm gonna do is 2 things. I want to read an excerpt from the piece I contributed. Can y'all hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. All right. Well, let's do the same thing that we did for Naima, where I'll just turn off my mic and my my camera.
Okay.
Because the sound is better. Yeah. Let me do that.
Okay, cool. I'll do that.
Also, go ahead and start over, sis.
Okay. So originally I was gonna like play the harp, y'all, but my harp is in the car right now because I'm heading back to Detroit soon, and I'm not bringing it up 3 flights of stairs. So I'm sorry, y'all. But I'm gonna do 2 things. I want to read a piece of my contribution to the book. First of all, thank y'all so much, Dane and J Mays. Y'all are so amazing, and all the amazing contributors. So happy to be a part of this. So I'm gonna read a piece of my excerpt, and then I'm gonna show you some work that I've been kind of working on. So the piece that I wrote was on creativity and spirituality and curiosity. And I think I want to start from and focus on curiosity. So here goes. Curiosity as a part of the work and a form of manifestation. When we understand how creativity and spirit can be accessed through mundane and ritual practices and study, how it is personal and collective, and what intentions and desires drive us to the well, we notice another thing that I believe is essential to this cultural work. Curiosity, or the desire to learn about something currently unknown to you, is an essential part of being creative and spiritual. It's what drives you to deepen your understanding, like, for instance, the study of the harp or painting. It compels you to go down that 2 a.m. Wikipedia rabbit hole about government conspiracy theories or exotic birds. Curiosity is a form of intention setting, manifesting, creative work, and just downright fun. So the act of following curiosity is setting intention. You may not know where it will lead you, or if some tangible work may be birthed from it beyond a new hobby or obsession. Hi, I'm a plant mom, a new one at that. However, curiosity says one thing to spirit, that I'm willing to try something new. It's the risk that we take to get through the messy part of creativity. Remaining open to the possibilities and taking risks with our time and energy to explore creatively, we learn how to synthesize what we know and what we have learned to craft something unique from our limited yet powerful perspective, pulling from seemingly disparate things like hormones, time, astrology, and the makings of it, maybe end up in a painting or a performance or a lecture, is one of the most fun things I can ever recall trying. The most exciting part of it is usually when it hits you all at once, when you're lit at a party dancing, rip dancing at a party, or on the bus on your way to see your family. You start singing into your phone or writing in your journal, and the next thing you know, you have a whole new work. So that was a portion of curiosity and spirituality and creativity. So I wanted to share my screen briefly. I hope y'all liked that, because I wanted to show you a work that I have been working on. Let's see. All right. Can everybody see the screen, my screen?
I can't see it.
You can't see it? Hold on. It says I'm sharing the screen. Oh, is my screen sharing in the backstage? It looks like it's like, hold on.
Sorry, I was sitting here coming to answer to you. I don't see it on my end. I don't know how to, because you should be able to just press the screen share button at the bottom.
Okay. Can you see it now? No? Oh.
I'm sorry, love.
Well, it's okay. I'm gonna try this one more again and then. Make sure you. Let me see.
Is it giving you any other directions? Dane, are you there still?
I'm here.
Hi, are you frozen? Okay.
Yeah, it looks like Aya is frozen.
Okay. So Aya might be frozen. And she's still froze fierce. Like, what is that?
I know, right?
Freeze fierce. Okay. That's ridiculous.
Serving you face, honey.
Okay.
Face down.
So we're gonna remove Aya for a second until that computer comes back up. But yeah. So I guess we can.
I'll send Aya a text.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, sis, you frozen.
But cute though. It's important that she knows she was frozen.
Right.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, so everyone, we just have like one more performer left for y'all, one more spirit worker, performer, speaker left for you. And Dane, I'll leave that to you. And I'm going to take myself off.
Yeah. Everybody give a hand for Miss Aya.
Yeah.
She also did a web series called Femi Queen Chronicles, which y'all can check out online. Episode 1 is up. And that series is so cute. So go on, check that out. She also has a new single out. Is she back? Is she back? Hello?
Girl, my computer crashed.
Shady
boots. I gagged. It just froze up on me. I was like, Mercury retrograde is doing this thing, y'all.
Oh, right. I forgot all them planets is in retrograde.
Girl, they said TS no.
Right, Miss 2020, honey. All right, then, sis. Well, I'll let me go on backstage then. Where'd she go?
Something just happened. I don't think I clicked her. She did.
We having some technical difficulties right now, y'all.
Still issues. So thank you. Thanks to everyone who is praying with us right now to make sure that the technology works. Thank you so much for bearing with us as we figure out technology. Aya, you look like you're here right now. You here?
Yes.
Okay. And you about
Can
so
you?
I can actually let me see if I can add to stream. Oh wait, now I can. Okay, I got it. Do you
Can
see
you
it?
see my now? Oh damn! Well, this is crazy. Wow. Hold up. Can y'all see that?
Yeah, we can see that now.
Okay. So this piece I named Iridescence. It's so speaking back on like what I was talking about earlier about creativity was this was called Iridescence. I was approached last year to do a performance for in Munich for this festival. And I was just trying to figure out like what do I want to do? So I kind of thought around things around like time. So like Dane was saying about Film Queen Chronicles, the web series, the first episode is actually around like being clocked as like trans in public space, but it was also about, you know, playing on time. They're all trying to get to this party at the same time, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so those are the things that I kind of wanted to explore in this film for this performance. So this video is what was placed behind me as I was playing. So I essentially scored part of the video during the performance. So this video is kind of like a series of loops. I think just random experimentation about like things that I liked and wanted to explore, like time, astrology, revealing myself at my own discretion. So this is why you hear the clock ticking in the beginning. Then you see like I'm like my shoulders are out, my hands are out, but like towards this point here where a song that I co-produced is coming in. This is where like see how I'm fully clothed in these, like, one thing that was really important to me is like as a trans person in public space is like, what is my armor? What do I use to protect myself? And one thing I used to do as a young trans person would like wear full clothes, like just cover my body head to toe. And so as the video progresses, you see like my gloves are coming off. Like you see, I start to disrobe a bit. And like in playing with like time, you see like these tracing, like my image is distorted. It's like all of this is about autonomy. Like you only see what I want you to see. Also, I really like this beat, and this is gonna be on my next EP. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show y'all. This should be coming out probably in the next month or so. Thank you so much.
Sis, did you freeze again? Did you freeze again?
Well,
I can hear you now. What were you saying? You were saying it should be coming out in the next month or so.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I had to share today.
Girl, I was in here dancing. I was like, ah. Girl, I was feeling it. I said, yes, you better. I said, work. I love that, girl. So wait, so is the hold on before we go. So the video, is the visual going to come out along with the song, or are you going to release the song and then the visual is like a separate project that combines with the song?
I think when I first started to finish it, I think I was just going to try to make it fit to the EP and just, because at first I was like, let me kind of justify doing this really abstract piece. And now that I've sat on it for at least 6 months now, since that first iteration of it, I kind of just like letting it live on its own and just let it be its own thing, and not necessarily like I can score it with some of the stuff from the EP, but I'm just kind of like, actually, let me stay true to just my curiosity. I really made that. It was made for a performance, but a specific performance at that. But honestly, I just love how abstract and like free and how much fun that shooting that actually was. I'm just like, it could just be its own thing. So I might just release it just to offer to the world.
Yeah, I love it. I can't wait to like see the whole thing.
Oh, it gets so lit. Like, it gets so lit and trippy. I'm excited to be working with Chris Tall Guy Sutton, who also worked on Femme Queen Chronicles, and Katie Dresner. And they also worked on Femme Queen Chronicles. They're working on the full piece with me to finish. So it'll be about 20 minutes, like 15 to 20 minutes long.
You better go ahead and release a whole visual. Yes, goddess. All right, sis.
Thank you.
Everybody clap them hands. Clap them hands.
Thank y'all so much.
Clap them hands. Clap them hands. All right, y'all. We're gonna go a little bit over, but that's all right. We Black, it's fine. Let's bring up our next artist in spirit. Hey, boo!
It's good to see you. It's been so good to see
you.
Yeah, it's been so great to see everybody. Oh my God.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm chilling. I got all kinds of cat print my skirt too. I'm just like, that is how I feel today.
I see you serving. Well, let me go ahead and go backstage.
Right. Hi Naima. Hi everybody. I am Scarlett. I am an artist and witch in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know. I was going to play music, but I really want to read an excerpt, one of my pieces from the book. I haven't looked at any of the writing that I submitted. It was kind of this long piece that I did last summer. I went on a camping trip to this exclusively queer campsite with a bunch of trans folks and queer folks, and did a lot of ritual. So the piece that I brought to the book was this, I would call it a transcendent and ethereal ritual, I guess. And the way I don't know, I was about to show you my altar, but I feel that's kind of like a personal thing. But I kind of identify a little bit as a chaos witch, and what that means for me is that I utilize just what is available to me, what I can obtain as free as possible. And I also release things very easily. That's an important part of my practice. So like, that was part of me creating this ritual, was like, I created it and then I sort of gave it to this book and to the world. And I hope all of you buy this book and enjoy it. And I guess I'm just gonna stop being awkward and read a piece from the book. So this piece, it's titled Midnight because that is, it happened at midnight when I started writing this part of the piece. Okay. The heat and the cool of the many spirits of the reader dance like the atmosphere of our planet, like the gases of distant stars, like cloud eddies over the boiling ocean. The reader's body is the vessel for these ancient deetic dances. In the gray light of the moon, the reader dances freely, kicking down the walls of ego between them and themselves. They may sing or shout or whisper or chant. And when the dancing is done, the reader eats a fruit whose color is significant to them and leaves the seeds, the rind, or the stem at their feet. They are the altar. They are creation in its first form. Their existence alone honors the creator. I dream a red star rises behind the sun, the face like a dog, cosmic blood on its fangs, flicking a serpent's tongue. And with a crooked smile and an eager hand, she shows the fluidity of land. We are stricken by her magnetic field or crushed beneath her fervent heel. As she ripples the surface of the earth, like a sheet, we are all shaken loose, set free into the galaxy. And as I rise to meet her, my skin is kissed with the mist of a storm. She says I am the keeper of a heart where elements are born. Sunrise, waiting in the shallows of the riverbanks, the reader greets the new day and readies themselves for a brief escape to divine freedom. They light a candle which will burn for the duration of the ceremony. I think that's all I'm going to read. I think, yes. Yes, yes. So if you want to see more of that and the rest of it, you're going to have to buy the book.
Get work by the book. Thank you so much, love. Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
One of the thing that I love about your piece is that it is a suite, right? Like I write these things called poetic suites that have movements. And so my earring just came off. And so like actually your writing is throughout the book.
Yeah.
So when people like read it, they'll see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely, I have completely forgotten the music that I wrote for it, to be honest, just because I haven't played it, but it was written as a suite, essentially. That's why some of it'll say G minor, C minor, because it's, yeah, that is the key. Anyway, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so good to see your face.
Good to see you too.
Take care, love. Everybody clap those hands. Well, I had a beautiful evening tonight.
I did. I'm so glad that so many people came to join us. Thank you to everyone that came and joined us. Thank you to each and every single one of our contributors that read. Thank you to all the contributors that weren't able to be here tonight, but poured their sweats, their tears, their love for community into this book. We're so grateful that we've had all these people part of this process.
Yes. It's I will just affirm and echo that, right? Like thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for coming through. Thank y'all for blessing the space tonight. Thank everyone who live texted. If you want to grab the book, which would be awesome, you can go to the website www.theblacktransprayerbook.org. And you can pick up your copy. It's best to probably get it from our website because that's where you can get the most affordable version of it. I think everywhere else is like $80 or $100. And then also we are actually raising funds to try to finance a documentary. We want to raise $250,000. So if you have it on your heart, remember they used to say in church, if it's on your heart, why don't you go ahead and pour out a blessing, an offering? And where can they do that at, Mace?
They can put that blessing for us. And actually, let me do a banner real quick. So if you would like to, so you're trying to learn how to do these things. So if you would like to donate to us via PayPal, you can do it by donating to admin@awkward. talent.com, and you can put in the memo section that is for the Black Trans Prayer Book. So you can do that. I'm going to show this right now. So our PayPal is admin@awkwardtalent.com. We also have a GoFundMe. So we have a GoFundMe that is up. So you can find us on the GoFundMe and donate there, or you can just donate directly to the PayPal.
Thank you. And then also just to reiterate, all you white folks out there, if it's on your heart, which it should be, go on and donate. And also buy a copy of the book and gift it. Gift it to a Black trans person. Yeah. All right. So thank you to all the contributors. Mace, I love you.
I love you too. I love you too. And I'm hoping that everyone that gets this book understands the right of Black trans people to heal from religious-based and trauma and a spiritual-based trauma. And that we put an end to spiritual and religious violence against Black trans people. So thank y'all for helping us on that journey.
And to all the trans people, please know, trans people are divine.
Yes.
All right. All right, everybody. We love you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you to all the amazing contributors. I want to thank the other co-editor, J. Mace III. Thank myself.
Okay, inshallah. And our soon-to-be co-directors, right? So again, for this documentary, please help us get to that documentary piece.
Josh said Black cis people can donate too. Oh yes, yes. Any cis person can donate. Go on.
Cis people can donate too. Yes. Thank you for that.
All right, y'all. Have a beautiful evening.
All right. See y'all.
Love you. Night.